What up, people? So I had a guy on the YouTube ask me, "Hey, I saw your blue Pete on the YouTube, and then I saw your overhaul. What was it, 3 years ago? So I have a problem. I got an Accert engine, MXX, and it had platinum overhaul and it's keep blowing head gasket. The MXX looks similar to this. That's why I got the yellow engine, the Western Star with the yellow engine in here. So what'd you do different? Oh, first of all, did you have any problem with the head gasket? Were you blowing head gaskets after overhaul? No, I did not. I had zero issues with the engine, absolutely. The only problem I had, I was breaking transmissions like no tomorrow. And the reason why, because the truck made tremendous amount of power. I sold it. And God bless the guy who bought it, because I don't know how he can afford it right now with the price of fuel and the way the freight's doing. But what did I did different compared to what the dealer would do? So I did not replace my head. The head was replaced before I owned the truck, so the head was completely fine. The reason I overhauled it, because the truck had tremendous amount of blow-by and it was losing power, and I had a really high oil consumption. So at that point in time, I'm like, should I go to Caterpillar, get the platinum overhaul? Should I do gold kit? I'm not sure. So I went and talked to the cat. The cat wasn't really, I don't know, didn't like it, ideology. They give you warranty and all the other stuff, so they're trying to sell you. So then I did a research, and cat's Accert, BXX, and MXX. Seems like MXX have more of a problem. If they're original, they seem fine, but then I started like, they either break a ring or something, but they would never blow a head gasket. So then I started making research, and it seems like anybody who gets overhauled the engine from original to get overhauled, it seems like they can't hold a head gasket together. And right underneath here, this is your spacer plate, and it runs all the way across. Right underneath here, it will start puking oil, like the oil must start bubbling. And I looked at it, quite a few engines have been overhauled by professional Caterpillar dealer, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go with the independent shop. I will buy my own parts. The only thing I did different, like I did not get rid of twin turbos. I reprogrammed ECM, and I put different cylinder packs. So when we bought, when we disassembled the engine, I ordered remember this number, 10R7172. This is the industrial C15. I believe it's Accert engine cylinder packs, and it goes from what is it, 15.2 liter to almost 16 liter engine. So their cylinder sleeves slightly thinner, and instead of 18-to-1 compression, you have 16-to-1 compression. And I think it's the biggest thing why Accert, BXX, and MXX like to blow in a head gasket on a second overhaul. So we decked the top of the block, and I checked the head. The head was absolutely fine. So I ended up reusing the head. I left the twins, and then I had it tuned for 6 1/4, and from Pittsburgh Power. And I got really disappointed, because that thing ran good for a little bit. Then I started having a problem with that biometrical sensor. I changed that, and like it got better, but it wasn't the same. It was getting really bad fuel mileage. It's just, okay, shit, I did a wrong overhaul, now I have to deal with it. So I finally did more extended research, and I found this guy from Diesel Freak out of Michigan, I believe, and remotely they retuned my ECM, and I remember he's trying to convince me like on a 9 1/4 or something like that. I said, dude, I don't want that much. He's like, all right, the minimum I can do with everything you did to the engine, you got to be at 875. So you should be a sweet spot. You should get decent fuel mileage, and you will not have problems. But everything beyond the engine, I can't guarantee you nothing. So that's why I had problems with the transmission. So the number one mistake, in my opinion, when you own yellow gold engine, the people think if you go to Caterpillar and you get a factory rebuilt by professionals, and they will stick you with the same exact parts, whatever they came out of it, and then you start having problems. So that's why I went with the independent shop. I was there. It's actually a buddy of mine, and we ended up doing a 10R 71, 72 cylinder packs. Here's another thing. It's secret to the Caterpillar rebuild kits, rebuild cylinder packs. Make sure if you end up doing it, or the shop you let do it, your trusted shop, please, guys, disassemble those cylinder packs, because the cat comes pre-packed. So you have a sleeve, you have a piston, connecting rod hooked up to it, everything. Make sure you disassemble everything and look it over. Make sure the rings are clocked the right way. Make sure there's no snap rings missing from a wristband. Everything needs to be re-lubed. Inspect visually your sleeves. I think sleeves is new, but the piston's being reused at the cat, which is completely fine. Piston's one of those things. If they fail, they fail. They're not. But I think they magnaflex them for cracks. But and then what we end up doing, we actually weighed everything out. We scaled each individual rod, and then each individual piston, and then we heavier rod to the lighter piston to the heavier rod. So we kind of semi-balanced the engine, and I really liked it. If I wouldn't made a decision to quit trucking, I would never sold that truck, but I decided to quit trucking. So I sold the truck, and another guy owns it. And like I said, the only problem is you have so much power under your foot. It's hard to control yourself not to be the fastest guy going up the hill. And then, like I said, you have a problem with the transmissions. And it gets, if you use all that power, you get, I would say, fairly shitty fuel mileage. It's like mid 4 to low 5s in a good day. So thanks for watching all.